Hello, everybody. All right, welcome to the Mikestand. Today is Sunday, um, December the 15th, 2024. Hopefully, everybody, as we're like now just 10 days away from Christmas, hopefully, everybody's having a good holiday season thus far. So, before we talk about what's on tap for tonight, let me introduce my co host and give him a chance to promote anything he'd like to promote anything he'd like to promote, his channel, his books, what have you. For this week, my co-host, of course, is the Metal from the Vomitorium, and I will
Hello,
now
hello.
hand it off to you to give you a chance to promote some of your stuff, there, my friend.
Yeah, hi, I'm the Metal. I make a variety of different things on the internet. Uh, Most regularly, I host a show or a channel called the Vomitorium every Monday and Thursday, currently at like 9 p.m. Central Time. But I also write prose and comics that you can find over at nextdynamischaos.com with a variety of different stories.
And of course, if you'd like to share those links in the chat for people
Yeah,
to,
if I can find them.
yeah, okay. Um, all right. Anything more you'd like to say before we move on?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, with that being said, then I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what's on tap for tonight. As tonight, of course, it's our weekly look back down Comics History Lane. We're looking back to March of 1940, and of course, here are some links. I'll highlight those for everybody. That's to the Vomitorium channel if you guys want to go check that out. And here's to the X Dynamis Chaos comic. If you guys want to go check that out as well, there you go. So, anyways, now with that being done and said, let me just continue on with what I was just saying here. So tonight, as I said tonight, weekly look back to comics. We're looking back to comics that went on sale in April of 1940. This week, we're going to be focusing on books that went on sale from David McKay Publications, which of course was the first company to focus in on doing like a lot of the King Features syndicate comic strips like Popeye, Phantom. Now, because of the fact, of course, we unfortunately cannot find any of the actual books to read, we will read the synopses, so at least have kind of an idea of what was going on in the David McKay universe, as it were. You know, um, the King Features Syndicate universe. Then what we'll be doing, we'll be spending a good chunk of the night going through Famous Funnies Volume 1 issue 70 from Eastern Color Publishing. I know among the, we'll probably be reading a few of the features in there. And a little bit of a different thing to that is a lot of these are reprints from news stories, so we'll probably, a lot more humor stuff. So, probably taking a little bit of a break from superhero stuff, as it were. We might have one action adventure story in there, I think, with Roy Powers, Eagle Scout. But aside from that, and then, of course, after we get done with all that, we'll have, of course, our weekly trip down history, the world of Nietzsche history, and we'll look back on this day, this weekend in Nietzsche history. So, anything you'd like to add to all that, Metal, or we ready to go?
I think we're ready to go.
All right. All right. So, first off, then, let me go ahead and pull up the GCD page here. I have up. So, of course, right now, this is for King Comics number 50. We're just going to read over some of the synopses. Again, not every synopsis. I know that would take quite a bit of time, but of course, the cover here was from Thimble Theater, which was what they called the Popeye strip, Thimble Theater, with J. Wellington Wimpy right there. Joe Musel on the pencils and inks right there for the cover. Let's see. Actually, I didn't even know this till I saw this when I was, looking this over the other day. So apparently, the Lone Ranger was, at least they were published by David McKay. I don't know if they were actually part of the King Features universe or not, but I guess maybe actually I guess they were, because apparently this is a reprint from the Lone Ranger Sunday, from January, basically from January 1939. Let's see, adventure western story: the Lone Ranger, Tonto, Don Raphael, Trig Schuyler, um, yeah, Trig Schuyler, Breed with Jose. Trig Schuyler's band of cutthroats are raiding along the Texas side of the Rio Grande. Lone Ranger and Tonto right into Mexico to seek the assistance of Don Rafael. For Sunday pages here, Fran Stryker was previously credited as writer, but Marilyn Cressy, the wife of artist Ed Cressy, adapted Stryker's radio scripts for the comic strip. In the Thimble Theater feature by Doc Winter, of course, featuring Popeye, Olive Oil, Jay Wellington, Wimpy, and Sweepy. Ahoy, Olive. Yeah, never mind. I can't do Popeye anyway. This is reprints from the Thimble Theater Sundays from June of 1939 to July of 1939. Flash Gordon by Don Moore and Alex Raymond. Um, Featuring Flash Gordon, Queen Freya, Prince Ronal, and Dale Arden. Flash and Freya attempt to rescue Dale and Baron from the Giants. It's from the Flash Comic Sundays. Let's see. Using pictures, Sapo, stamps, sports features, King of the Royal Mounted from Zane Grey. Of course, King of the Royal Mounted. Zane Grey was of course the author of that Colonel Potter from MASH.
So I actually just did some reading on the Lone Ranger publications when it came to this, right?
Right.
So Dell originally published 4 standalone stories, one in each of their 4 big feature comics at the time. Right, so you have an Ace, March of Comics, Future Comics, and King Comics, Magic Comics, right? All their big things. After that, though, they did run a full Lone Ranger series for 145 issues, completely separated. It didn't really interact with any of their other features. But
Dell did this? Dell Comics
yeah,
did it?
Dell Comics did it, yeah. So it directly ties into the 4 that they did in their multi-feature books, their little anthologies, but none of them really attached to anything else in Dell Comics.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, I know Dell did it. I know Dell and later Gold Key would later get in the habit of adapting both, cartoons into comics as well as television shows into comics. I know Gold Key in particular, like one of the ones that comes to mind, of course, is Dark Shadows. Dell and later Gold Key they'd get into the idea of adapting, properties from other sources like comic, cartoons and television. Little Annie Rooney here by Brandon Walsh and Nicholas Afonso. Of course, not the Brandon Walsh everybody's probably thinking of, Beverly Hills 90210. This guy was obviously not that Brandon Walsh, but drama, domestic, adventure, children, Little Annie Rooney, Mr. Ward, Mrs. Ward, Mr. Barnes, Mrs. McMack, Mrs. Flowers, and the synopsis: as Mr. and Mrs. Ward attempt to adopt Annie, Mrs. Flowers sets a trap to lure Annie. All right. Sports features, solved. As I said, I didn't want to go through, there were a few Henry ones here. Just talking mostly about them. And here's Mandrake the Magician by Lee Falk and Phil Davis. Of course, Mandrake, Lothar, Dr. Cole, and Babs Cole. Adventure, fantasy, supernatural. Mandrake and his party find the city of gold at the bottom of a huge crater. This is from the Mandrake features from June of 1939. Radio Patrol. Let's see, News and Pictures. Sentinel Louis, Little King, Henry. Okay, so done with that. Now let's go to Magic Comics number 10. You have Henry and Mandrake on the cover there by Joe Musil. Look at that cover. I guess Mandrake trying to pull the rabbit out of the hat, and instead pulls Henry out of the hat. Let's see.
Yeah.
Mandrake the Magician, Carl, ex-king of Kakanye, I guess. Lee Falk, and let's see, strip reprint is all they say here. Let's see. Of course, Henry. So here they don't give as much. I guess Popeye now is kind of a Wimpy Do Not Go from E.C. Seeger. Strip reprints. I guess by this point maybe they were doing Popeye strips separate from Thimble Theater, I guess, by that story. Little Nature Stories. See, Agent X9, News and Sports. Blondie by Cheek Young. Humor Domestic, strip reprints. Funky Barney Baxter. The Romance of Flying. Dingle Hoofer and His Dog. That sounds like a very interesting.
I have not even heard of half of these. I like Blondie, though. Blondie is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I was just trying to focus a little bit more on the ones that most people have heard of when I was reading the synopsis. All right, so we got all that, we got that acknowledgement out of the way. Oh, hey, Rick. It is. Rick has joined us. I guess you already seen him, so.
Yeah, I give him a little wave.
So just a friendly reminder to everybody, if you haven't already, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So with that being said, let's go over and let's get to our main attraction of the night, as it were. Gonna head over to Famous Funny Volume 1, number 70 here. Yeah.
There's a better question, though, real quick.
What?
Who do you prefer, Blondie or Dagwood?
What, in terms of comic characters?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't really read too many of their stuff, so I couldn't really tell you. Don't really know. I always thought Blondie and Dagwood were in the same feature, though.
Oh, yeah, but they've had separates, and there's also things that focus on one over the other. Personally, I think when it comes to the solo bits, Dagwood was always funnier than Blondie, but they're both entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't read too many of those, obviously, but so I don't have a preference. Yeah, they just. There it is. Number 70 right there. Famous Funnies, the nation's comic monthly. Sorry, we need this rump for the Cowboy Act. And then
Listen, I don't know if that's somebody who should be on a tightrope in the first place.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that'd be one big mess if they fell. Laughs, thrills, adventure over 60 different comets. Join today, Buck Rogers Solar Scouts. This beautiful metal pin shows you are a Buck Rogers Solar Scout. This gold and red insignia pin shows your rank of Chief Explorer. Spaceship Commander's pin with the silver insignia for girls. This locket is a badge of honor as interplanetary nurse. The Ring of Saturn, set with repeller raystone, is emblematic of rank as member of Supreme Inner Circle. So, travel with Buck Rogers by rocket ship to thrilling adventures on distant planets. Meet the amazing people Buck encounters. See their strange cities, their curious customs, their astounding battle equipment. You will thrill to the greatest adventure strip you ever read. Don't they all say that? Right?
Well, listen, if you're not your biggest fan, who's going to be?
Right. Buck Rogers in the 25th century. It is against this astounding background of interplanetary rocket ship flight to planets incredibly distant from our Earth that Buck and his solar scouts fly to great adventure. Become a Buck Rogers Solar Scout now. Don't delay, and be sure to read Buck Rogers in the 25th century, as opposed to Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century, right?
Yeah. It would be horrible marketing, but for once I would like to see somebody like the second greatest thing in this genre. Listen, we know we're not as good as the other guy, but we think you'll like our stuff too.
Gay 30s here. Oh, yeah. As I said, we're going to probably be reading things a little bit more randomly here tonight. The Gay 30s. I sure got it all cut off, but ain't your ma gonna be mad? I guess so, but I'm gonna go to the dinner table with my cap on, and I'll get such a bawling out for that. It can't get much worse when I take it off.
No hats at the dinner table.
So he's gonna avoid one lecture by inviting another one. That's funny. The Gay 30s. Hey, Willie, that ain't the one my kite's in. You're climbing the wrong tree. Oh, no, I ain't. I just remembered there's a ball game going on here today, and I can see it better from here. Now, I don't know if you've ever watched such movies as like The Babe or 8 Men Out or anything like that, when they would oftentimes depict time in like the 20s and 30s, right? But there were times when kids would sometimes, they'd either climb trees or they'd find little holes in the fences.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
You know.
That sometimes employees, like staff and stuff of the field, would catch them and like try to shoo them away and everything.
Can this be treason? Goofy gags. Oh, a kid climbing on the Howard Taft lookalike right there. I just want to get my ball. Let's see.
Yeah, his shirt does kind of look like a rope ladder.
Yeah. Now this curve is a knockout. Yeah, such
As
a
a self
knockout. It
knockout.
dinged him in the head. That's quite a bit of a curve that he threw there, buddy. uh, I think I'm spoiling you. To town, 10 miles. Yeah, let's see.
Well, you don't want the horse to be tired before the race.
I think we're a little mixed up in our acts. Star Flashes by Charles Bruno.
I think if the trapeze artist can hold on to the elephant while on the trapeze, he needs to change to the strongman act.
Yeah, no kidding. That would be some. That would be some. I guess that's why they're called goofy gags. Because they're goofy. Star Flashes. All right. Let's see. Glasses worn by players are just rims enclosing an 1/8 inch strip of cellophane. Real specs reflect too much light. Let's see. Clark Gable's first acting job was with a cooperative stock company. His share of the first week's profits was $1.30, or 10 cents for each performance. So $1.30, 10 cents. So I guess he had 13 performances, I guess. Mary Carlisle's watchdog has been supplanted by a peacock. Its shrill scream is twice as effective as any canine bark. Okay, I guess getting the peacock to chase people away, I guess.
I have a funny story about chasing a peacock once when I was in elementary school.
Would you like to share?
Yeah, sure. We were on a field trip to the aquarium, and above the aquarium at the top floor, they had like a rainforest set up where they kind of let the animals roam around. The peacock had like a semi enclosure, but there must have been like new staff on shift or whatever. But the peacock got out and was running around, and some of us kids, instead of listening to what we were supposed to be doing and corralling next to the teacher, decided that we were going to try to help the staff and chase the peacock around.
Hmm.
They eventually caught it.
How the teachers respond to that?
I think the teachers just really couldn't keep track of every child. Like there was no punishment or anything. I don't even think they actually knew what we were doing.
Huh.
It was just too much chaos going on.
All right. Well, that was interesting. All right. So, getting on with the. All right. Let's see. So, moving on with some of these. To ensure her career in films, 12-year-old Jane Withers has spent $10,000 in skating lessons, voice training, horsemanship, French, Spanish, and swimming lessons. Trying to become a Jane of all trades, as it were. Let's see, Gene Autry. Gene Autry, the great cowboy, the former, of course, the late Gene Autry, the former owner of the California Angels. Gene Autry's contract specifies that he must never be required to smoke or drink in a film scene because most of his fans are youngsters. Wow. You don't hear about stuff like that these days, do you?
No, but back then, the entire industry had more of a backbone that was like slowly fading away, but a lot of people wouldn't get rid of it. They'd hold on to it themselves.
Yeah. So let's see. Shirley Temple designed Hollywood's official Christmas card. Proceeds from their sale go to the Motion Picture Relief Fund. And here's one of the first stories we're going to look at today. Eagle Scout Roy Powers by Paul Powell official story of the Boy Scouts of America. Swell of you to take us in, Captain. Not at all. Make yourselves at home. The boys and I are going to try for some elephant pictures. Well, just take the small movie camera, Roy, and about 6 rolls of film. That's what I thought. All we have to do is to bribe a couple of the Maasai boys, and the job is practically done. What a break for us that they didn't take the cars with them. What's the matter, Roy? Worried about something? I'm Chunky, but I can't place what it is. Now, I think Chunky means that he thinks something's up. I would guess based on the context of what's being said. What do you think, Metal? Because he's obviously not chunky by how we might think of the word chunky today, right?
Yeah.
So we look at the context of how he's saying that. I am chunky.
Yeah,
but
I think that's how he's feeling, right? He's feeling chunky, like kind of like there's bits and places that don't belong.
Back at camp, I'm going to have a talk with the two boys they left behind. We give plenty big money. I guess they forgot to put the part of the G there, I guess. We do it. You wanna now.
No, I've come up with the solution. Chunky's a guy's name.
Oh.
I am, Chunky. He's talking to a guy. I didn't see the comic first, but then in the next line you can see Chunky. Like that's a guy's name. He's talking to a guy.
Okay. Oh, it's probably the guy who he's talking to right there. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We got to pack this stuff and scram. They may be long. Those two Maasai boys have the cars already. What if Conway reports this to the district commissioner? Don't be a goof. Don't be a goof. What chance have they got to get back alive? Meanwhile, Chunky, I've got it. Huh? Smoke. One of those men was smoking a cigar. Just like the one I smelled on the ship. Gosh. I worried about those two men. I'm sure they were on the ship. Then that one was just pumping us at Mombasa to see where we were going. Gee, what do you think? Gee, what do you think we ought to do? Wait, I'm sorry. Gee, what do you think we ought to do? I'm going back and see what's going on. So with one of the Maasai boys as guide, Roy starts back. Meanwhile, at camp, all set. In a minute, one more tent to go. And continued on the next page. Eagle Scout Roy Bowers by Paul Powell. Official story of the Boy Scouts of America. Great guns! They've packed the whole outfit and are ready to leave. Come on! Hey, what's the idea? You can't get away with this. Get in the truck, quick. You and your native Palaire going for a nice ride.
Native pal R.
Oh, native pal. Okay. Pal. Yeah, the way they wrote it, I thought it was like one word for it.
No.
Native. Okay.
It makes a lot more sense when you read it that way.
Yeah. Well, I just simply thought Palaire might have meant, like that was the name of his tribe or something. Or just, get up in that truck, both of you. You're pretty brave while you have a couple of rifles. Later, 30 miles out, on the lonely
Velt.
veldt, the truck stops. Now get out.
Yeah.
Gosh, the brute. Oh,
I
I'm
was
sorry,
just
you were about
explaining
to say
that a velt is a type of grassland or plain, just so you know.
Okay, well, thank you for that tidbit of information. Always nice to learn something new. Let's see. All right. Gosh, the brutes didn't even leave us a bit of food or water and no gun. Plenty bad. Mini Simba here. I can't even read that little thing there. We've got to do something. More better. We walk. Maybe find water. I'm glad to have this scout compass. Gosh, never thought there could be so much landscape exactly alike. Simba. Gosh, a lion. How did I know that the word Simba meant lion?
Well, probably because Simba was named after God, what's the language basing on it? But it was the local language that where it's supposed to take place. Word for lion.
Yeah. Actually, a little side note here. I told you a while back that once I finished watching One Piece, I was gonna, basically do a reboot of my watching. As it were. Like recently, with my anime watching, started watching Kimba the White Lion and Leo the Lion. So,
but it was Swahili. That was the language I was trying to think of.
All right. Captain Conway said the worst thing to do is to run. If Simba not hungry, him go away. Suddenly the lion begins a slow stalking approach. Then the beast, slow stalk, breaks into a trot. Quick trees. Maybe we can make it. Huh? Gosh, those trees seem 1,000 miles away. We can't make it. He's nearly on us. Then, when they are only a few feet away from the trees, the giant beast springs at them. In the midst of the spring, a shot rings out. The lion twists spasmodically, and bang! Simba dead. Where did that shot come from?
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Huh?
Even if the shot killed him, the lion's got momentum. He's still landing on the guys.
Huh. He not stopped dead in his tracks, as it were?
No, dude. If he's already he was leaping, right? Like he was already coming at them. He's got momentum. Like the bullet doesn't have enough momentum to stop the weight of the lion from just crashing into him, even if he's dead. I guess they'd be safe, other than the weight of anywhere between 400 to 800 pounds of lion on top of them.
Well, unless they somehow split apart or something like that. Just
Yeah.
but um, that was close. My word, what are you doing out here unharmed? Um, we were left here by two men who stole our entire equipment. Briefly, briefly as possible, Roy tells the district commissioner the story about the crooks. Boy, your description fits two rascals wanted by the police. I'll send one of my cars after them. Meanwhile, I'll take you two back to Conway. Come, Sunga. Hello, Conway. Just found this lad 30 miles out on the veldt. Those rascals left him there. Great heavens! We were just breaking camp to follow him. Huh? The lion was in the air when he shot him. The commissioner is the best shot in East Africa. Oh, I say, Conway. Oh, I say, Conway. By Jove, here comes one of my lads. Did you get them, Wilkes? Yes, sir. We caught them 10 miles out. Hawkins is holding them and Captain Conway's equipment. I don't know how to thank you. You wait here, Juma. You wait here, Juma. While Roy and I take a look at that brush and see if we can get through. It looks pretty thick, Captain. I think I heard something on the other side of that brush, Captain. Yes, I did too. Look! Are they savages? Yes, it is a savage tribe, but they're quite friendly unless a ritual is interrupted. Wow. I know Rick and I had a similar situation when we were covering a Zatara story where, where they just walk in on something and you just automatically assume things.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad assumption though. It'd be like, hey, look at those Christians over there. They're pretty friendly unless you decide to just like start yelling in the middle of their mass. It's a relatable. Like, I don't blame them for being angry if you upset their ritual. It's their religious practice.
Yeah. Well, they called them a savage tribe right off the bat.
Yeah, that's the rude part. But I mean, that was just a common language at the time. We've kind of moved past that a little bit.
Right. If there are any elephants around here, they're sure to know I know it. Come on, Roy. Okay, Captain. Jumbo! We look for Timbu. All right. No, Timbu means elephant. No talk now. I busy. Teach, fight, secret to new warriors. My father, head man of village. You go. He tell you where. Aren't we going to the village? Sure, but we must make a ceremony of it. I'm going to invite His Honor, the chief, to dinner. Thanks for telling us where to find the Tenbu, Chief. I have something for you. You give present to Nahu? Good. Here's a picture I took of you yesterday. Oh, plenty big magic. Later, Naha certainly liked that snapshot. Yes, but I hope he won't talk about white man magic to his witch doctors. They're very jealous. Continued next month. All right, so we got to that story. Overall impressions there.
It wasn't that bad. I was a little impressed, given the time period and also the level of accuracy I usually expect from the comics we read here. That they at least knew where they were in Africa, right? They'd have to be very specific, but saw that Swahili was being spoken, which is mostly spoken in Eastern Africa below the equator and above South Africa. And they described the areas they were in as the veldt, which is usually the type of grassland that you find in the southern half of Africa. So you can make some really good guesses on precise location, but they knew where they were. You know, things were pretty accurate in that regard.
Hmm. So you would argue then that in this case the writer actually did his homework then a bit.
Enough, at least. Yeah.
Hmm. All right.
Which I
Hey,
probably suspect that the writer himself was a scout who tend to do their homework a little bit more if he's writing about scouts.
yeah. All right. All right. So let's see. Let's see what else we can find to read and all that. We're on the 42-minute mark here, so we're not doing too bad on time. Skyrims. Hairbreadth Harry by E.O. Alexander.
Is that an E or an F?
Huh? Oh, okay, maybe F.O. Alexander. I could sit like this forever, dear. Me too. Don't you feel like you'd ever want to leave my side, Harry? Hmm. Never, Belinda. It's disgusting, nauseating. I brought a surprise for you, Harry. It's in the car. I promise you I won't look while I promise you won't look while I go get it. I promise. And promise you won't leave this spot. I won't. I won't budge, dear. If I can only get him to leave that log shell. If I can only get him to leave that log, she'll never trust him again, and their courtship will go poof. Oh, this guy's a real charmer, isn't he? Isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. He's definitely not right in the head.
Aha! A maid getting into a boat. I'll hire her to fall in. Now, what can Belinda's surprise be? It's all fixed. For $50, the gal's going to tumble in and scream. Help! Can't swim a stroke! Help! I'm drowning! Yoo-hoo! He won't sit there much longer. He won't sit there much longer. I'm a hero like him. Hmm. Why the yellow cat? My faithful gallant, my faithful gallant. Don't keep your vow at the expense of the lady's life. Hey, I'm still drowning. Hot dog, a picnic lunch. I don't know if I read that in quite the exact order it should have been, but um, well, no one saved me. Pipe down and wade ashore. The water's not up to your waistline anywhere in the lake. Oh boy.
I don't know if I'd call it a lake if the water's not even up to her waistline anywhere. It's more like a pond.
I don't kid. Arr! Make a fool out of me, will you? Isn't it peaceful, dear? I'll say, please pass the fried chicken. Well, what did you think of that story there, Metal?
It's quirky.
Quirky? Gear Homer. As well. Rope souvenirs, real Wild West hats. Rodeo souvenirs, real Wild West hats. Pardon me, sir. Are you a real cowboy? Reckon that's me. Is it true that they shoot horse thieves? Yep. Well, look, this is my mother-in-law's address. I think she once stole a horse. That's one way of getting rid of your mother-in-law.
Oh, he's gonna need more proof than that.
I wonder if Fred ever thought about doing that with Pearl. Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
the horses weren't around yet.
Hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Near Coyaz, Laura was kidnapped and chained in a cavern while her captors sought ransom. Hey, Light. It's Buddy. Buddy, here I am. Look, an enemy, Earthman. Yes, no, it's a girl. She must not see us. She must not see us. Advance, but watch for a trap. We can't leave her. Hurry! The enemy must not know why we are here. Meanwhile, in Koyas, a whole day gone, and no trace of Allura. With all the ships and men Saltal gave me, I wonder if he's crossing me. Hands up, Berto Miguel. We want Capitano's jewels, and we want them fast. I know nothing about those jewels. Don Saltao in person. Where is Allura? Don Saltao, have mercy. The map in my pocket will lead you to Allura. A short time later, they betrayed me. They betrayed me. Allura is gone.
Well, you know, maybe they just didn't know that.
Yeah. Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Who did it? Who did it? These strange footprints. Could it have been Miguel Umberto with false shoes? Where are Laura's footprints? Now I see. See it? They took her by force. I don't hear a sound. They must be way up ahead. An hour later. See. Whee! Look at that! A two-way trans-space radio set, but not an Earth set. It's very mysterious. I dare not make a sound. Our presence on Earth is unknown, and it must remain so. Our Emperor could use a hostage. When we do leave Earth, we'll take you with us. Tiger Men. All right. Tiger Men from Mars. And they've got Allura. Think of what. Wow.
Why are Tiger Men from Mars?
What was that?
Why are Tiger Men from Mars?
That's one of the points I was going to kind of bring up. I mean, kind of interesting what they thought. Granted, this is Buck Rogers in 20. So this was like 5 centuries into the future, 500 years into the future. But still, you imagine what these people thought space would be like. What we've seen in a number of these stories is kind of how
apparently they thought there'd be Tiger Men from Mars.
Yeah. That there's any breathable atmosphere on Mars for life to be sustained. Well, there has been some people said there's craters on Mars that prove that it was at one time water there, possibly.
There's water on Mars. It's just all frozen at the North Pole.
Oh no! Please take me to. Oh no! Please take me to Buck Rogers. I'm an agent of his. Buck Rogers. That makes a big difference. Contact X39. Inform him of this. GHQ by X reporting. We've captured an agent of Buck Rogers. Our presence here still unknown. Await further information. Stand by. Those Martian Tiger Men are bad stuff. Swell,
that's a great line.
Swell part.
Right.
What was that?
Just as it is, that's a great line. Those Martian Tiger Men are bad stuff.
What did you find funny about the line?
Just the whole thing. In its entirety. I think it's just a funny line. Like conceptually, Martian Tiger Men. And almost like racially, right? It's like a racial profiling. It's like they're Martian Tiger Men. They're bad stuff. He can't even see what's going on there. He can make some assumptions because they kidnapped Allura, so that already kind of just makes them bad people. But just the line on its own is a funny line.
It's the part of the humor comes from the fact that it seems like it's an overgeneralization. Yeah,
and I could just imagine him like shouting it, but under his breath so they still can't hear him.
Swell target, but I might hit Allura. I'll get back to the radio room. Can't work their radio. That stellacite. What if it should fall on the Tiger Men? Who operates the radio? I'll borrow one flying belt and there now. About 1 inch more. And this ton of stone wall will be hanging by almost nothing. So he's going to bring down the stalactite to on them. That's an interesting. Holy smoke! I cut too much of it away. It's going to crash. There she goes. And in about 10 minutes, those catmen will be here. Say, that's an idea. Here goes. Boom! Crash! Enemies, the radio room. Approach cautiously. Shoot on sight. Footprints. Only one man. He's small. My flying belt was stolen. Clever enemy. He's after the girl. Back double quick. He got her. Look, their trail leads toward the room of quote unquote Badlands. Once in there, we'll never find them. But we must. Allura, hurry. The Tiger Men are coming. We've got to rely on our tricking them. Hurry. Oh, buddy. Once they're in the room of the Badlands, it'll be a terrific job to capture them. If they escape, the Earthmen will learn we are here. I think in this case, terrific means big, not like a good thing. Because usually these days, when you say something's terrific, it's usually meant in a positive. But I think in this, one of the few cases you're going to see where it's actually meant in a negative way. What do you say to that, Metal?
Yeah, I think large in scope, which could be positive or negative depending on how you're using it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what. All right. We're not even an hour in yet. We're just coming up on an hour just now. It's hard to see without a light. Oop, stay back. Buddy, I'm falling too. Oh. They'll get it. They'll get us sure. Shall we lie down in the mud and hope they don't? Wait. This mud is almost like putty. Hold your head down, Allura. I'm going to try something.
See, he thought that she was trying to come up with a plan, but really she was just trying to get down in the mud with him.
You think for something a little more quote unquote risque, maybe?
Yeah, it's the only thing she has on her mind.
Oh, you think maybe she wants to go do some mud wrestling, maybe?
Yeah.
That's
Otherwise,
it.
like, what woman would just volunteer to go lie down in the mud?
That's it, Allura. Swell. Stand right there and don't move. Look, their footprints lead right into this mud pit. There's mud all around on the ground, so they must have climbed out. They couldn't go beyond this point. The mud is too deep. They're alive. Come, we'll look for their trail on the other side. Whew. Was that a close one? So apparently they did actually submerge themselves in the mud. Continued next month. All right, so what did you think of that story, the Buck Rogers story there?
What do I think of Buck Rogers? I think I've now become racist against Martian Tiger Men.
Yeah, that's what the woke people really want to hear, right?
Yeah.
Let's
No,
be
I already
racist.
changed
Martin
my
Tigerman.
handle. Look, see,
Oh boy.
that's what my headline says right underneath my name. It says "racist against Martian Tigerman."
Oh boy. Let's enlarge that one. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see. Jitter. Let's see, by Arthur Power, I think. That name. First tee, 321 yards. Look at that, the girl petting the monkey. Like the monkey's all like, uh. Yeah. Look like the monkey is infatuated with the girl, maybe trying to romance the girl, but I don't think the girl might have. Oh,
I don't know. I mean, he kissed the monkey.
oh yeah. Huh.
Nah, the girl probably just sees the monkey like a pet.
Yeah. Sergeant Tony Craig, U.S. Marines. Or Sergeant Stony Craig, I guess. Chief Wahoo. Dickie Dare. Alright. Got to hand it to you, kid. You know how to handle a boat. Hey, look! A flashing light. It's the coast. We got 2 hours before dawn and a fine breeze blowing. We'll hit the coast in an hour. We'll jump ashore and beat it. Listen, you go ashore and let me sail back at my to my friends. No, you don't. No, you don't. I wouldn't trust you, and besides, I got a career all laid out for you. Although they are keeping a stubborn silence, each has his own thoughts. This is the worst mess I ever got into. I gotta do something. Maybe I'm a sap to keep that kid alive. I should oughta bump him off as soon as we beach. It's kind of funny. They're like they're putting the tails on as if they're speaking this, but these seem more like thoughts that are going on in their head to me than them speaking. What do you think they're metal?
Yeah. Like I could see the kid saying what he's saying, sort of,
Mm-hmm.
but like he still wouldn't want to say it out loud. And there's definitely that guy would not say that out loud either,
Hmm.
unless they're implying that it's just so stormy or like rocky outside, right? The
And they're
wind or
they're
whatever,
saying it kind of to themselves, but
and
since
they
with
can't
all
hear
the
each
thunder
other.
and lightning going on,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other person can't hear them.
I could see that being the case.
Yeah. Wonder what that mug's hatching. Hey, the wind has shifted. That gives me an idea. Hey, watch yourself. The wind's coming from the right back of us now. Keep her headed for that lighthouse. Dickie throws his weight against the tiller, and the yawl swings to the right. The sails flop to the left. As the sails bring up with a bang, both masts snap off short. Well, we're dismasted. We're dismasted. You see, you told me to keep heading for that light. Don't lie to me. You done this thing on purpose. How Dickie jibbed the yawl. First position before the wind sails on right side. Second position, Dickie swings her to the right. Third position, sails flop over with a bang and break mass. All right, that's interesting. They give us a little lesson there in the middle of the strip. Okay, then I did it. I did do it on purpose. So what? You're licked. So here's where I settle up the account. I got 2 slugs left in this gat, but I'm saving these for your friends. For you, these 2 mitts is gonna be good enough. Wags, Wags, sick boy, do something. That mud again. I'll fix you this time. Wags! You beast! You hurt my dog. Ow! Here's your finish. Oh! Gog glug! What? Save me. Oh, I get it. Mike's seasick.
It took him this long to get seasick. Not when the rocking waves were happening or anything. It was this now.
Well, it sounds like we got another writer who didn't do his homework.
Right? I mean, typically, if you want to not get seasick, the best thing to do is to preoccupy your mind with something other than the sea. Like, I don't know, strangling someone.
What a break! Gosh, if I can just slip this gun out of now, you mug, hands up. Gee, he didn't even hear me. He's so sick. Oh boy, I'll just lash him. I'll just lash him up. In this case, I think lash means tie him up, as opposed to whipping him, right?
Yes.
I've got his head tied down. Now now all I gotta do is to spread eagle his hands. Gogglug. So you mug. You smashed poor Wags against the cabin, and you would have strangled me. Then they say you shouldn't kick a guy when he's down. Next thing is to look at my poor pooch. Ah, Wags, say something, gee. He's alive. It's a broken leg. The pain brought on him too. Lie still, fella. I'm gonna fix a nice splint. Dickie dare, he's so ware. What's that? Gee, a plane. It's an autogyro, by golly. He sees us. He's coming over this way. That thing can't land. Oh, I get it. A guy's gonna dive. There he goes. That bird has his nerve with him. Here he comes. Dan! Dickie! Put it there, Dickie. I'm proud of you. I was ready to put up a scrap to save you, and said, well, I'm impressed. Mike got seasick, and all I had to do was to tie him up. But what I don't understand is how you got here. When I found the Dicky Dare had vanished, I doped out the truth about Mike, so I strapped on this gun and cartridge belt, wrapped in oiled silk. Say, kid, wait till you meet the pilot, a guy named Norcross. He's going to be best man at my wedding. Wedding? Gee, I forgot all about that. Wow, there's something for you. He meets a guy, and all of a sudden, he just meets a guy, and already the guy's best man at his wedding. What do you think of that there, Metal?
I must not have a lot of options.
Uh, yeah, Mike smacked Wags against the deck house. Poor
Why would
fella.
you do that, Mike?
What was that?
Why would you do that?
I didn't do it, but I know
It's just Mike smacked Wags. Why would you do that?
I didn't do that. You know I didn't do that.
Don't you like dogs?
Well, they're okay, but I mean, their barking's a little scary at times because you're not sure if they're going to jump off and bite you. Poor fella, he'll be in a doctor's hand in a few hours. Look, Dickie, here comes the freighter to pick us up. Dan, why don't you think over the marriage business? No use, kid. Oh well, when you're my age, you'll understand. The Adventures of Patsy. Napoleon. Daredevils of Destiny. Pen Pals. Napoleon. Okie dokes. Book up. The magic carpet must be right around here. Okie, I couldn't move a muscle, not even if I had a muscle. But it's getting dark. The gorillas will find us. How can they find us if it gets dark? They're animals, you dope. They can smell us. Speak for yourself, Mr. Dokes. Oh, is that a girl? Okay, I didn't realize that was a woman. Are you sure I'm not too heavy? You're awful heavy, but we can't let the gorillas catch us. Oh boy. They're a bad lot. All right? Now I'm going to take a deep breath and hold it. See if that doesn't make me lighter. I don't think so, because I think trapping air in you would actually make you heavier, I would think. What she thinks.
Well, you'd have more mass in you, but it depends, right? You'd be slightly more massive, not that the air actually has a lot of mass. We're talking like a negligible amount of mass being added into your body. But you could be more buoyant. So depending on how thick the air is, I don't know. Maybe they're inhaling helium and they're becoming a blimp. I really couldn't tell you. I think regardless, it'd be negligibly heavier or lighter in any direction.
Right.
which is why if you're standing on a scale, your weight doesn't change if you breathe.
Yeah. I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm being a lot of trouble, Okie. Maybe tomorrow I can carry you. There's Nellie. We uh we found the magic carpet. We made it. And am I tired? She's tired. Oh boy. Talk about understatement. I wonder how they'll take it. I wonder if the carpet is still magic. Those ape men are here again, ready for an attack. Come on, magic carpet. Upset daisy. Look, the carpet isn't magic anymore. We better run for it. Wait for baby. The magic carpet went up just in time. Those gorillas would have eaten us. Yeah, the big ape. That reminds me, we didn't get anything to eat on that island. Not a darn thing. And who knows when this thing will stop again. It's like a transcontinental bus. What's the idea of getting ready to suicide leap? When the carpet lands again, I may be too weak to get on the horse. Are we still over water? Any bathing beauties? I'll bet it's a desert. I wish I had a strawberry sundae. I think I'll get off my horse and take a look around. If we had a cow, we could we could have a glass of milk. I hope we don't land right in the middle of the desert. Princess Osha is the charming daughter of a kindly desert chieftain. Kasan Kari, leader of a band of roving outlaws, has been Osha's has seen Osha's picture and is determined to capture her. Gentlemen, this means war. She's wonderful. So late that night, Kasan Kari's band rides noiselessly across the desert to Osha's tent. This night work gets me. Sleep tight, princess. Good night, Lulu. Oki and the king soar over the desert. Okay, so on their magic carpet. So that was a guy. Um,
You know what? It's fine to give the king an effeminate voice. He's acting like a girl.
some pretty dastardly work is going on beneath them. Oh, hey, what's this? Well, here's the princess. What about this handmaiden? Shall we take her along? Sure. Here's the princess, master. Well done. We must be off at once. It is morning. Kasan Kari and his band have returned to their camp, with the captive princess Osha and her handmaiden Lulu. How dare you kidnap me, the Princess Osha? Because I love you, I think. A lot of people love me. There's no reason. But I am Kashar Kari. I take what I want. This guy's a real charmer, isn't he?
Hey, you know what? When you got the power to do it, who's going to stop you, right?
I think Okie Dokes might have something to say about that.
Seems to be his job.
Wait till my father, the king, hears of this. He'll break your neck. Kashan Kari is not afraid. Oh, Lulu, what shall we do? If you're asking me, you're in a tough spot. I mean, we're likely to be Kashan Kari's guests for quite a spell. But you will protect me. Oh, sure, I can lick Kashan Kari and his Arabs single-handed. Oh, Lulu, what shall I do? You might try eating some onions, but promise you will protect me. I'll try, Princess. In in fact, I'll defend you with my life if necessary. Although that seems to be going a bit too far. Farewell, Volmar. I'm going to see my captive princess. So long, master. Take care of yourself. She's the most beautiful creature in the world. Tell the Princess Osha her dream prince is here. We don't want any dream princess today. I've come to see the princess. She ain't here. Continued in the next issue. All right. Continue next month. Anyways, I forgot to ask this before, but I'll ask for the last couple of stories we just read. What impressions of Dickie Dare and Okie Dokes here?
Tiki Dare is kind of fun. You know, at least there's some stuff going on there. Okie dokes, not really anything happened. We just had some people running from gorillas, and then some girl trying to not get hit on by a prince or king that stole her. So you know, like I'm sure continuing more if you had like a conclusive overview of the whole story, there's something going on. But in these short snippets, it's really like it'd be more entertaining for a regular follower.
Anyways, I need to step away from the camera for a moment. So if you want to talk to the chat, maybe do any promoting while I'm gone off camera here for a moment, and then we'll continue when I come back here. I'll be right back.
I mean, I'd rather not, but okay. Is there even anybody in chat? Probably not. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna be rude. I'm gonna leave a dab in the chat. Boom. Ha ha ha. Can't stop me. Yeah, especially for something that is like drawn in a way that it's functionally a collection of strips. It's you just don't get enough. You don't get enough at a single point in time to really make a judgment of the story. You have to be following for like a really long time, and eventually you get a whole story. Yeah, I can't really judge it too much, other than the fact that modernly I don't think I'm a fan of the publication type. I think I'd rather just get bigger snippets, but that's bigger chapters are what came later anyway. So I think almost everyone agreed with that.
All right. Anyways, I'm back now. Well, thanks for holding the fort there. I had to take care of something real quick there. Hopefully now.
Oh, don't thank me. I did an awful job.
I was listening because what I had to do, I didn't have to step away as much, but was just taking care of something. Um, but yeah, well, I mean, part of what I hope, and this is kind of why I wish I did have a few more viewers regularly, particularly for these, is the whole idea is that I'm just giving like samples, right? I'm just sampling we're still kind of like running through and figuring out like I'm still trying to figure out what the and I forgot to do this when we changed over to famous things. So I'll do this now real quick while I'm talking to you here.
Well, yeah, I mean, even for like these shorter things, like I said, they're some of these are functionally just strips. I know some of the comics we're going over were collections of strips, but even these longer form ones like this are still functionally just strips, right? And strips are cool. Some longer form stories have been told in strip form over the course of like many weeks or whatever, even months. But one of the issues with a strip is that you have to have something to every page or every strip that you're doing, right? There has to be a bit, there has to be a joke or some hit. And some of it hits and some of it doesn't. Like the first Okie Dokie, where they're running from the gorillas, there's at least a joke in there that's pretty good. With the whole, like, I'm tired, even though I was the one being carried the whole time. There's something to that. But then, like, the part with the princess and her, what's it called? Her lady in
handmaiden.
Yeah, her handmaiden. It's just not really doing anything,
Yeah, well, as I said, part of it was, if people come along and they see me read this portion, maybe they'll get them interested in, hey, look, I want to go back and I want to read more of this story, on my own, maybe. That's, just put it out there a little bit, at least introduce people to these worlds and hopefully spark an interest in people to want to maybe go back and read them on their own, But that's one of the goals, anyways. But anyways, we'll get back to it's like we're coming up on an hour and a half here, so probably see how much. Let's see. Not even sure. Maybe we'll rhyming. Let's see. Sam the rhyming rover. Come on, Tiny. The circus is in town. Here, see that tallest man in the world, 1 dime. 2 tickets. We want to see the tallest man. Is that boy Mountain really alive? Yes, he's 50 feet tall and growing every day. Wow, our tallest man is only 8 feet tall. Oh boy. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? The boy wants to see the tallest man in the world. Actually, he's going to end up being taller than the tallest man in the world. uh, you'd be a sensation. Come with me. Come with us, son. Name your salary. Your tents are over here. Make yourselves at home. We're in the circus now. We're roughing it, and how we sleep in tents like soldier gents, and sawdust is our chow. Come on,
Oh, that's a nice little limerick out of nowhere.
come one, come all. The big show next month with Tiny the Boy Mountain. Now, what did you think of that story? That was a pretty quickie.
Yeah. At least it had a bit to it. You can't even fit in the tent.
Yeah. Holly on the movies. What do you think of the art in these stories?
Well, I mean, you have to judge independently because like there's a bunch of different styles, right? Some of them trying to be a bit more like realistic, a bit more anatomically appropriate. Some of them just trying to be straight up cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know, it varies a lot. And a lot of these people are working within limitations of their time, right? Like especially with these more like anatomical pictures, you see heavier like spotted blacks for cast shadows to try to give more form. Because if you draw somebody who's like anatomically correct, but you don't give it some type of form, they end up looking really, really weird. But then you see less of that with the cartoons, and the colors are all the same in everything because it's the only colors they can use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're getting. Let's see. I think how many? Just going down real quick, seeing what more there is. Yeah, let me see. I'm just trying to get a quick peek and see. There's still quite a bit here. Yeah, I'm just more like randomly choosing which stories to go over here. Somebody's Stenog by A. Hayward. It's a great honor to be asked to speak at Bon Bon Girls College. Your speech is all tight. Now to locate the president. Oh, girls, look, cute, sweet. He must be the Apollo, or he must be Apollo, or Paris. How did you get in these crowds, in these grounds, and what do you mean by starting up such nonsense? But I tell you, get out and stay out. Holding a parade without a permit, $25. Our college is in need of donations. Say, you ever do a Mayday dance? It goes like this. All right. What did you think of that one right there?
It's a little all over the place. It's not very focused on the main bit.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The backseat driver. If I do say it, I'm strong-minded. That's because you exercise it on me all the time. Why not? You're a dumbbell. Okay. Have you ever had a backseat driver call you a dumbbell, Metal?
No, I can't say I have.
Overall impression of this little quickie.
It's straight to the point. It's a classic joke setup, 3 points. It's like set up, follow through.
Lightning in the Lone Rider. Seems like this time they decided to stock this with a few more adventure stories. Usually these have, more like humor-like stories, more cartoony stories. Granted, you have some stuff that you like Chief Wahoo and stuff like that. But, Babe Bunting. I guess we can do it by Williams. Now, don't you worry. In the morning, if I can walk, I'll look for that paper. How do you know it is in this house? Mrs. Droop put that paper in a pocket, and her clothes are in the attic. How how do you know her things are still here? A girl who used to work here let me know. I guess we better go. If you need anything, um, Benji can bring it. Are you sure we can trust him? Sure. As Babe and Mary start home, look, Babe, Sally's doll. Buttons must have dragged it out here. Are you going to take it to Miss Tosie? No, I'll just hide it in this hamper. Let's see. Benji hears about Miss Tosie. You better get over to Drooks and don't breathe a word to anybody. You know me, but gosh, it's exciting. I hope nothing happens to Miss Tosie or Benji tonight. Oh, so that's actually an old woman. Okay, I didn't even realize that was an old woman at first. Uh, I wonder, I wonder what's keeping Xenius. Look what you're doing, babe. You missed your mouth by an inch with that bite. I was thinking. You seem to be wandering around a lot these afternoons. You used to play around the yard. I've been I've been with Mary, and today when it rained, we waited till it stopped. Hope. Well, here's another wandering soul. Hmm. I dropped over to Droops. Somebody thought they'd seen a light. Somebody always seeing things over at the Droop place. It might have been a reflection. Anyway, they're going to report it to the police. Reckon I'll take a run over after supper. Could I go to Miss Crumpet? Well, I guess so. Are you very hungry, Zenas? I'll say. At last, Baby starts off with Zenas for the old Droop house. They'll likely search the house. They can get in, if they can get in. What, what did the police dozen us? What did the police do, Zenas? Or they might wait outside and grab whoever comes out. Hey, you! Get that kid out of here. Somebody might get hurt. What did that policeman tell you, Zenas? He said he's sure somebody's in there. When Mr. Hawk brings the key, they're going to search the house. Who's Mr. Hawk? He's Droop's lawyer, a shifty critter. Just then, there's a rustling in the shrubbery. Zenas, something's creeping in the bushes. Benji, where did you come from? I stopped in to see Miss Crumpet, and she sent me with a message. See you next. Oh boy, what a cliffhanger! Okay, we get to the point where he's got a message, but now, and of course, you'd have to come back next month.
I don't think I'm coming back next month. I'll be honest. That one almost put me to sleep.
Was it the story itself or the way I was reading it?
The story itself. There's I don't know. There's nothing interesting going on in it.
Let's see. One for you. Yeah. So I think that's enough. I'm just gonna breeze through the rest of this so you can look at the art. Overall impressions of the selections we read tonight.
The comedy bits were pretty good, like when they were actually focusing on being funny. And aside from that, it's Buck Rogers. But Buck Rogers is always good. Like, you can't go wrong with Buck Rogers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's probably one of the longest known franchises out there. I mean, even I didn't know that there was, up until I started doing this little project of mine. I didn't even know that that he had been in comics. Believe it or not, growing up, growing up in the being born in '75 and growing up in the '80s. Of course, I saw the the TV show Buck Rogers and the 25th Century with like I know two. I think let's see. I think Aaron Gray was in that. I think, but other than that, I can't remember who else was in there. But I was aware of the TV show, but I just never knew there was actually a comic for it. So
yeah, I mean, at that time though, I mean, actually, it's not that much different now, but even at the time, once somebody was somewhere, they were going to be everywhere, right? Like if you had a radio program, once their TV shows, you're probably going to get a TV show. You're probably going to have a comic strip. Like you're just everywhere.
Yeah, 14 and then 1924 for December 15th. All right. So, anyways, we're at the 144 mark because I wanted to try to get done by 149, but we can go a little over with that. But anyways, I'm going to move on to this weekend in Nietzsche history. So as we start to wind things down, we look back at this day in Nietzsche history. We're going to go back first. I'm going to go back 10 years ago yesterday. As on yesterday's date, 10 years ago, WWE held its Tables, Ladders, and Chairs 2014 event. From from the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. We'll kind of take a look at and in this one, official title TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs and Stairs, as it was the 6th annual TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs event, and the first TLC pay-per-view to feature a steel stairs match. All right, that's kind of interesting in the world of wrestling. So let's see. The main event saw Bray Wyatt defeat Dean Ambrose in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. Basically, that's just a match where tables, ladders, and chairs are essentially legal. If there is a title involved, then of course, like in the ladders match, the title is held above the ring and you have to try to climb the ladder. But basically, in a TLC match, tables, ladders, and chairs are basically legal in the match. You can use them any which way you want. United States champion Rusev retains the title over Jack Swagger. In a chairs match, Ryback defeats Kane. In a match for the Divas Championship, Nikki Bella, with Brie Bella in her corner, defeats AJ Lee. In a tables match between John Cena and Seth Rollins, with, of course, Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury in his corner, John Cena defeated Seth Rollins. Cena had lost, he would no longer be number one contender to the WWE World Heavyweight title. Let's see. Big Show defeated Eric Rowan in a steel stairs match. In a match for the WWE Tag Team Championship, The Miz and Damien Mizdow retained via disqualification loss to the Usos. Dolph Ziggler defeated Luke Harper in a ladder match for the WWE Intercontinental Champion. And then to kick off the show, the New Day of Kofi Kingston and Big E, with Xavier Woods in their corner, defeated Gold and Stardust. Stardust, of course, now current WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes. So, anyways, so that happened 10 years ago yesterday. And it's kind of funny because last night, WWE had its first Saturday night's main event on NBC, the first time since 2008, 16 years. So that was kind of... So now, moving on to today's date, as we go back 100 years ago today. On this date, 100 years ago today, click the wrong thing there. 100 years ago today, Walt Disney's Alice the Piper premiered in movie theaters on this date back 100 years ago today. So the rats are out of control in Hamlin, and they've taken over the kitchen. But when they take over the king's bedroom, that's the last straw. He puts a $5 reward, which the rats change to $5,000. Oh boy. Alice and Julius accept the challenge. They play a tune, and the rats gather around, but they won't fall for the old follow me in the river trick. Fortunately, a very powerful vacuum cleaner is nearby, and Alice and Julius suck all the rats into it. The king gives them their reward, $5. All right. This is part of the Alice comedies features, I believe, that were produced by Walt Disney back in the late.
Yeah, there were several of them, and this was just a spin on the Pied Piper of Hamlin.
Right. So, yeah, Walt Disney. So, anyways. All right, so that happened 100 years ago today. And then, now, a little more recent, as it were. On this date 30 years ago today, Betty and Veronica number 85 from Archie went on sale on this date back in 1994. So for $1.50, 32 pages, of course, featuring Betty and Veronica stories, including Mad Fad, Contact Sport, Main Event, Cold Comfort. So 30 years ago today, the 85th issue of Betty and Veronica from Archie Comics. So with that, I do thank everybody for being here today. So before we leave, okay, before we wrap things up here, I'm gonna Metal. Would you like to? I don't know, promote anything coming up this week? Talk about anything before we wrap up here?
No, the only thing I want to promote is racism against Martian tiger men.
And with that, I do thank everybody for being here. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow with, of course, with all the latest in the niche news. We got, quite a big weekend that happened. Of course, as I mentioned, last night's Saturday night's main event happened. TNA had its final resolution pay-per-view with a big return that's caused some controversy. So we'll be talking about that in a bit. The wrestling wrap up, as well as talking about, have this day and age history segment, as well as getting caught up on all the latest other news in the world of niche. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.